Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Great to have you with us. Fergus Dolan is my name. I work for NALA, the National Adult Literacy Agency, and I'm delighted to welcome Eleanor Neff. Eleanor is a distance learning tutor with NALA. She has been working with Kerry ETB for a good few years in family learning, ESOL and literacy. And Eleanor is going to present this morning's webinar on building resilience for you and your child. So over to you, Eleanor. Oh, just before I do, sorry, the questions. If Eleanor would love your questions, comments, suggestions during the webinar. So if she says something and you think of a question or comment, write it in, and at the end we'll have time, 10 or 15 minutes to read out. So you just scroll down to the questions / chat function and you can write in your questions or comments in there. So over to you, Eleanor, all the best.
Thanks, Fergus. So hello, everyone. As I said, I can't see you, but I know you're there. So hopefully next year we'll be back together in a physical setting. But really glad you all joined me to take part. So I suppose when Fergus asked me to do this course, I was really excited, but I also was thinking about the very situation we find ourselves in now, and I wanted to bring something that would be reflective and relevant for that. That was really important to me. And I wanted to basically prepare a tool that you could take away with you as practitioners and use. So I put this together especially for this webinar. So I haven't done the whole thing in its entirety. Now, I have used parts of this course with an ESOL conversation group I have online, and it went very well. And I've also road tested aspects with my own 8-year-old boy, so the toughest test, and he's enjoyed it. So that's why I'd really appreciate any feedback and comments you might have at the end, or ideas that you would have, other activities or even different things that could be added into it. That would be absolutely great. And Fergus will call them out at the end. I mean, of course, again, if we were in a physical setting, this will be a lot more interactive, and there will be time for, that great peer connection and sharing. But we'll use the chat box in place of that today. So I suppose the course, what I know, there's different things going on in different parts of the country. Some people are in physical settings, some people are online. So what I wanted to do was put together a course that could work in a physical setting, but that you could also deliver it online. I deliberately put it in PowerPoint because I feel that way Fergus can send it on to you, and if it's a useful tool for you, you can use it, but you also have the flexibility to edit it, to make your own of it, to do what you want with it. Or, if you want to put it into something a bit more interactive, like Genially or something, if you're going to use this with a group, please work away. But I just thought for practical purposes, I'd stick with the PowerPoint. So as I said, I'm hoping there's flexibility that you can work online, it could work in a physical setting. Also, I think it's a course that you could do with parents or also with parents and children.
Hi, Eleanor. I'm not sure what happened there, but you have frozen on us and we can't hear you. So we're going to just give that another minute. I think your battery is low, Eleanor. I don't know if you got that message, but it's up on our screen. So, apologies to everyone who's listening in. We just bear with us for a minute, and hopefully Eleanor can get that back up. It could be, Eleanor, that if you can hear us, so Eleanor's gone. I'd say she'll try, and we'll just hang on, and she'll try and log back in again to get going. Okay. Okay. In the meantime, I don't really know what to say, so I suppose get yourself a cup of tea or a drink of water. The next set of webinars that we're going to be having will be in January, the end of January, the last week in January, and they'll be focused on literacy. So not sure yet what theme or what topics, but if you have any suggestions, actually, please send them in to me. My email is fdolan@nala.ie. So that's fdolan@nala.ie. So it'll be the last week in January, a series of webinars on some aspect of literacy or numeracy, and haven't yet started working on those. Plus, if you've suggestions for a speaker, so somebody who presents in your centre or you've seen somewhere and you thought was good on any aspect of, say, literacy or numeracy or group teaching, please let me know, because I'm always looking out for suggestions for speakers who are, you know, good or different or new. So yeah, sorry about this. Eleanor has disappeared. We're just going to hang on and hope that she can come back on. I'm just going to see, does her name pop up? She's offline. I'm going to see, does her name pop up? I'll let her back in. 1 sec. Oh, she is. Yeah. Okay.
Hi everyone,
Hi,
I'm
Eleanor.
so sorry. The
No
Wi-Fi
worries.
dropped. Oh my goodness, I'm so apologies.
Not to worry. I talked about very interesting stuff for them, Eleanor. She did a great job.
Oh my goodness, guys. Yeah, and I wouldn't mind. I actually went into town to make sure I had very reliable Wi-Fi, and it just dropped at my friend's house. So big apologies.
No
But I'm
worries.
back. So look, and Fergus kept you entertained. So
Oh,
now,
absolutely. They said some of them texted in it was better, the rubbish I was talking there, than what you were saying, Eleanor. Eleanor, will
brilliant.
you turn on your share your webcam, please?
Yes, I will indeed. Now, hang on a second. There we go.
Yeah.
Now, I'm back.
Okay.
Deep breath, you know, but
Okay,
I
well
like
done.
building resilience. But sorry about that, guys. I'm here. So, guys, yeah. So, wanted to join to start something that will be reflective for the times we're in and the world that's moved online. So what I'm going to do now is I'll share my screen and show you the course. And as I said, it could be something online based in a physical setting, parents only, or for parents and children, even if you've small people scooting around the computer screen. So I have 4 sections in it, and if anyone thinks of any other sections or things you could put in, that would be great. I'm going to be talking about what is resilience, planning a routine and schedule with your child, making a family coping box or a family relaxation box, whatever you prefer to call it, and children's books about resilience. So there's a lot of literacy happening around the theme of resilience. So now I'm going to share my presentation with you. So this is where I do the bit. Can you see it? I'm hoping, Fergus, can everyone see that there, yeah?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like a seance. Can you see me? Okay, perfect. So we'll just start. So what does the word resilience mean? Now, these are slides, guys, that I would be hoping you could use with your learners. So I'm literally walking you through the course that you could deliver directly to learners. The word resilience in itself, I think it just lends itself to so much literacy activities, sounding out the word, breaking it down, talking about syllables. Maybe you could look it up online. You could show people things like the Collins Online Dictionary. You could talk about, you know, the whole thing of tricky spellings and maybe introduce, you know, the look, say, cover, write, check method. There's a lot I think you could do around that word itself. I know if I'm spelling that word, it doesn't trip off for me like that. So, you know, what do we do when we meet tricky spellings or new words, things like that. And of course, also you can talk about it on a deeper level. You know, have you heard the word, you know, what would you associate with the word resilience? You could brainstorm activities there. Now, this is an image I would have used myself with my learners in that conversation group, and it generated a lot of discussion. And you can see there, of course, you have the tree bending in the wind or in the storm. It's not standing rigid or perfect, because then it will break. So I think it links into that whole idea of adapting to what's going on around us, and the idea almost of bouncing back and being able to change and deal with things. So I think there's there's important ideas there. And as I said, I used this image in a conversation group. I used this slide, and we ended up chatting for over 20 minutes. And, you know, as someone said, we're all being, you know, resilient now. We actually gave ourselves a little clap, you know, so we did talk about the current circumstances as well. But of course, resilience is something we need all through our lives anyway. So now that would be the first slide. As I said, I think you could do a good few things with that. Any ideas or anything, be sure like to note them down. Now I'll just move on. And I suppose resilience, what does it mean for us? And what does it mean for us and our children? You know, I think sometimes as parents, you know, all of us, you know, we have this idea we have to be perfect and everything, but it's okay to fall down once our kids see us getting back up. It's okay to make mistakes and not be perfect. It's the idea of bouncing back is really important. And I think that's a great load off for all of us, you know, as parents and, you know, for learners, things like that. So I found a lovely video about resilience, so I'm going to hopefully share it with you now. And it's something I think you could show to parents and they'd enjoy it, but I know also my 8-year-old got a lot out of this, and it got him talking about the word and the ideas in it. So I'll just share it with you now, guys.
Strongest in class. See, he's going to try to knock it off the table. Ready to run? Okay, children, who can tell me what it means to have resilience? Yes, Paige. Resilience means make the toy fall down, you pick it up very, very fast. Very nice.
Now I'll just stop it there. But I think that's an absolutely lovely video. There's so much free resources, I'm sure, of course, as you know, on YouTube and things like that. And you know, just get people's reactions to that. And now I'm going to move on here. It's actually a little bit tricky to move on to my next slide. Hang on. There we go. So after that, I think, you know, we're all resilient. We all do things all the time outside this experience we're all having now. And I think it would be really nice to ask learners to share their stories of resilience. And it's something I did with my own learners. I suppose I would just, you know, stress maybe at this point that they share stories they're comfortable sharing and stories they're comfortable telling their kids with. So, you know, you can get a discussion going around that, but also a writing activity, giving people time to write down their stories. I think this is something, a physical setting, obviously you could light your nice candle and have, you know, soft background music playing, but maybe even online. It could be an activity you do together if you wanted. You'll know your group, you'll know how you're going online with things like that. And then people could read their stories and share them, or maybe people could post you in the stories or email you in the stories, or bring them back to the group next week and read out what they've written. So you would know how that will work best. Everyone, I know we all know our own learners, but also, as well as writing the stories, why not draw a picture of the story as well? So it could be a really, really nice activity to get children involved in. I think it's really nice for parents to tell their kids about a time they found something tough but kept going, and have the child maybe draw a picture around that. So I think that would be a nice activity as well, and it's very empowering for people. We really enjoyed actually doing this as a group. So I'll just move on now. Oops, I moved on too fast. Now, this is a little video that I think I'm probably a total child because I love it. It is for children about resilience. So I think learners will enjoy watching it. If you've children there, or as I said, they're scooting around near the computer screen, they can watch it. I'll play a very small part of this at the start, just to give you a taster.
Oh, we just keep going, don't we? You know, that's what the word resilience means. It means that you keep going, even if you don't really want to. It's really important for everyone to be resilient, otherwise we wouldn't get anything done. Your bedroom would never be tidy if
I love that part. So, it's something that parents could take away. Maybe you could send it out in an email, or even a link to the phone via text. So that's another video. As I said, there is so much out there, particularly at the moment, about resilience. And there's a lovely one-legged challenge at the end of this, but it's also adapted in case people can't stand on one leg. So it's very mindful. So I'll just move on now. I'm going to go up here and click, because that seems to get me out when I'm in the slides. Yes. So again, just a summary, I suppose, of suggested activities. And again, this is where I love your input. Brainstorming the word resilience, break down the word and check syllables, look up the word in an online dictionary. And I think these are all things that you could do either in obviously a classroom setting or an online setting. Just to note for the brainstorming, I'm sure some of you have been using it. Padlet can be a great little tool once your learners are comfortable using it, and it can be a way to build up their confidence in their tech skills as well. But you can do those little virtual stickies with the Padlet if you are doing it online, so that might be a fun thing. Share and write stories of resilience, draw pictures around resilience stories. And another thing, stories of resilience about famous people. Again, I'm conscious if you're delivering this course online, there are going to be certain aspects that might have worked great, say in a physical setting, like decorating boxes together, but there'll be things that won't go or work as well. So there are, little videos. Maybe you could finish each online session with a story of resilience. Now, there's a J.K. Rowling documentary, Harry Potter and Me. It's amazing. Now, it is 57 minutes, but maybe it's something you could have 10 minutes of it at the end of each online session. But just to be aware, there's lots out there. There's, for example, the Derek Redmond story from the '92 Olympics about him hurting his hamstring and still walking to the end of the race. There's lots of little things there that you could add in if you're doing this online. So just to mention those, that's just the link actually, or the reference for the J.K. Rowling documentary. So that would be, I suppose, as I said, kind of 4 sections within the overall theme. That would be the one about resilience. Now, I'll move on. Routine and planning a schedule. And I think at this point, we all have different reactions to this. There may possibly be some groans and people going, oh, sometimes it can be, oh, like things we have to do, or, getting up early or work. But go with the groans, get feedback, brainstorm, get people's reactions to this as well, because I think that's really interesting and will be a fun thing to do. Ask people, do you have a daily routine? What's your reaction to it? Is it useful? Is it not useful? Do you find it good with children? So I think a lot of us learn the hard way. It's preferable to have a routine with children. But again, how does having a routine make you feel? So again, that could be something you could brainstorm, you could do online via Padlet. And then of course, would you like to plan a routine with children? If it's something people haven't sat down and done, and something to involve children in, this would be a very important part of the activity. Again, and so if children are there, you know, people can work on it together. And what would be important in your routine. We all come from different places, have different things going on in our households. Maybe people have a lot of school runs, maybe people have dogs to walk in the morning. You know, you can get people chatting about that as well. So, and of course, why is routine important for children? And especially now, because of course, all our children, no matter how careful we are or how much we're protecting them, even when they go into school, or go into the local shop, they're very aware there has been a massive shift in the world. As one learner said to me this week, the world turned upside down this year. And I suppose routine, you know, as we know, in normal circumstances, it gives children a feeling of safety. We're all a bit fearful of change, but in particular now, it can be really great for keeping us all grounded. So that can be something to discuss with learners and get their ideas about it. And you can just see there, yeah, I won't like it, but consistency, a sense of comfort, a sense of normality in these times. And I suppose we're all fearful of the unknown and change, and routine, you know, makes it easier. Maybe we're all wearing masks in the shops, and maybe there's a lockdown on, but you know, we still have breakfast at this time at home, and we get the lunch ready for school, you know. So that's just, I think, a really important thing, and I have found it particularly important, I suppose, on a personal level with my 8-year-old. So it's been really, really helpful. Now I'll just move on. I have a video, I'm not going to play this, but again, it would be something you could share with learners, how to create daily habits and routines with your kids. So it's a nice video, it's not that long, it's under 10 minutes. So there's nice activities as well put into it, like the mindfulness activities and yoga and fun things. It's not all about getting the chores done. So it's great, and again, just to get people's responses to that. So I won't play that one now, guys. I'll just skip on there, hopefully. Sorry. Hang on. Oh, there we are. Yeah, that worked. Anyway, just to mention, there are really fun free resources on YouTube for your daily plan. There's I have a 5-minute yoga routine here for kids. Again, I won't play it, but just there's so much there. There's Cosmic Kids Yoga is a great one. So it's little stories and you're doing yoga moves. And to be honest, like, I am basically the unfittest person going. My child has great fun watching me struggle when he can fly through things. So it's a great parent-child activity, and you don't need to be fit. I think it's funnier for the kids actually if you're not. But just, you know, maybe you can research some things with learners or get people's ideas. Is there anything they use? But there's an entire world out there, and a lot of little mindfulness activities as well, which actually, if you were using this with a group, I have the yoga one here. Obviously, I won't put it on now in the webinar, we'll all start doing yoga. But if you had a little mindfulness one or something, maybe you could play it online and give it a try together. So that's just another idea there. Oops, no, I went too far. And so guys, this is just a daily routine plan I put together that parents and children could work on together. So I actually have a few documents, like the daily plan and things, that Fergus will email to you as well. So about, I think, 4 or 5 little worksheets as well. And this is one of them, and you know, adapt it, whatever suits yourself, you're very welcome to it. But again, something that parents and kids could be working on together. So, and I suppose you could get feedback then as well, you know, how did people get on with it? Did their kids enjoy it? People could share their daily plans. So move on. And just activities again, just to round them up. What do we associate with the word routine? And it can be interesting too to think about where does that come from, and just get parents' responses. our experience of routines, useful or not. What is their experience of children and routines? As I mentioned, my guy is a stickler for routines. And also just fun free activities for our routines to look those up together, and planning a routine together, a parent and child activity, which is really nice. I wrote, as I said, I road tested that with my 8-year-old and it went down very well. We had great fun with it. So now that was the second section. Now the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is the family coping skills box, or, you know, if you want to call it a distraction box, the relaxation box, whatever you'd like to call it. And I know I've done these, you know, different boxes in the family literacy courses before, and they're so enjoyable when you're all together in a room and you're decorating your shoe box or whatever it is. It's a really nice activity. It works great when parents and children are there, and I think even just parents, it's something so nice. And, you know, you come into the class with your bag of supplies and everything. And I know, obviously, if that's online, there's a little sense of loss with that. So what I was thinking, a nice way around that would be if you sent your learners a decoration pack, if you like, the week before. So, you know, a big padded envelope with the googly eyes or the nice colored tissue paper, the things that you would have brought in within a normal family learning course into the physical setting. It would be nice for people to get those in the post, so they're not worrying about finding things to decorate the boxes and things like that. But, you know, I know it doesn't match doing it together as an activity, but it is just a little way around it. And I think it will be an important part of it to send out those little packs in the post to people. And of course, a coping skills, I think it explains a relaxation distraction. It explains itself well enough. Just things that can help us when we're feeling overloaded or stressed. So of course, for children, but also for the parents. Again, because I think that's part of this course, you know, it's okay for parents to feel stressed, and it's what they do with that and how they handle it. That's where the learning and the modeling comes in for our children. So as I say there, don't forget about the grown-ups, you know, you can have a tea bag or essential oil or anything, just a little box where you can all go to and catch your breath. I know for my guy, just the fidget spinners, he's quite sensory, the putty or slime, they're very, very helpful to him. But again, parents are the experts and will know their own children. It could be a soft toy, it could be a nice story to read together. And I've also thought a gratitude list would be a really nice thing to put into this box, because we've all had those days where, oh, everything's going wrong. And just catching your breath and looking at the things that you're grateful for and that you've put together when you're in a positive state of mind can be hugely helpful. So this is just an image, really, ideas of the different things you can have in there, your word search and things like that. And of course, again, now I know in an online setting, I'm very aware, yeah, it's not going to lend itself to be decorating the boxes together and that. But you can discuss, you know, beforehand, you could maybe break this into 2 sessions. You could have a discussion around what will you put into your box? What will your children put in the box, do you think? And then you could, writing the gratitude list, I think, is an activity that you could do in that physical space or in that online space. So parents could start it, then maybe their children could add to it. I have a template as well, a Word document for the gratitude list that I'll send out to you as well. But that is an activity I think you could do whether you're in a physical setting or online. And I'm not going to play this, but this is another video, how to make now a coping skills box, a relaxation box. Very engaging presenter. It's about 5 minutes long. So again, if you're delivering online as well, it might be something just to break things up a bit. And it's nice, she's got all positive logos written, and she's a very ordinary cardboard box, you know, it doesn't even have to be a shoe box, it can be something from Aldi. So that's a nice little video as well. I won't play that particular one now, but just so you know it's there and it's in the slides, okay? So, Now, again, I think in this section where you are talking about the relaxation box, sometimes we just need to take a breath. Like me, when my computer went down there, I was like, but this is a nice thing again that parents could share with their children. It's square breathing, a little breathing activity. So I'll just see if I can play a small bit of it to give you a sense of it. Just watching time there.
You might want to watch this video first before you do this. Make yourself comfortable. You can sit or stand. Have your eyes open or softly closed.
That would be really good for me right now. No, but I think that's a lovely activity you could do, whether with learners, whether you just parents on their own or not. And you could do it again, I think, in a classroom session or online. It would be really nice as well. So it lends itself to both. Now I'll just see where my cursor has gone here. It's funny on the shared screen thing. So, okay, move on. Hang on, I just must get him out of here. I must be up at the top. Sorry, guys. Oh, yes. Now, perfect. So suggested activities, of course, decorating the boxes together and, you know, fingers crossed, because I think this is a course you could use at any time, but particularly now, but we'll be in a situation where we are all back in that lovely setting and doing an activity like that together. But, you know, obviously that would work very well. But also writing a gratitude list, drawing a gratitude list if there's small kids there as well. You know, if you're grateful for the company of the family pet or anything like that, you know, you could draw your family. So there's a lot of things there. Brainstorming what relaxing things can we put in our box and looking at some resources on YouTube for relaxing. I showed you the square breathing, but again, I mentioned all the little mindfulness things and everything. So, you know, that would be a nice one. And of course, and this can be obviously online as well, because people can come back the second week, sharing the contents of our boxes with each other and telling the story of the items. And I know we've all, maybe if you've done a pride of place box or something, that's a really lovely activity. And people might be saying, you know, why this is good or what it means to them. So that's always a nice activity. And I do feel that would work well online as well. As I said, the one thing that jumps out at me there would be the decorating of the boxes. And what I would suggest there is sending out those packs as well to people. So now we've talked about the resilience, the routine and schedule, and the family coping box or relaxation box, whatever you're comfortable calling it. Now I'm going to move on to children's books about resilience. So I'll just go on there, and there's so much there, it's great. Now, what's that doing? Okay, it's working. Okay, so, you know, sometimes I think we all think, oh, you know, some people are just great at bouncing back and it's just something they do, but it's a skill and we can learn it and we can teach it to our kids. And I think that's a really important message. We can't make life perfect. We can't shield our kids from everything. It wouldn't be a good thing to do that, but we can help them to be resilient. And one of the ways we can do this is books, you know, surrounding them with books and stories that promote resilience or show resilient characters as an example. So that can be a great thing. My husband laughs at me, I'm a great novel reader, and he's like, gosh, why do you read so many stories, you know, because he's one of these, I want to read if I'm learning a new skill. But I was like, I'm learning empathy, I'm learning resilience. I mean, I think that's been, psychology has proved that now, that what we're taking from books can really impact us. So I'm going to move on here. And again, it's just developing a positive mindset in our children. Guys, that's a website there. They've a lot now. They're about kind of €12 or whatever. So maybe if you wanted to buy one as a tutor and photocopy pages or something, but they're all books, and they give a list of books anyway about resilience, but they've also lovely journals and things like that about resilience. So again, I would be conscious of not putting financial pressure on people or anything like that. So feel free to delete that. I also got the quote from there, so I just wanted to put it in as well. Okay, so move on. Now, the book that I'm suggesting using is The Magic Moment by Niall Breslin. I have it here. I don't know if you can see me. I'm just seeing my computer screen. So, and of course, it's about little Freddie, who is really keen to go to the swimming pool, but when he goes there, the noise and the chaos of it makes him feel uncomfortable, and he can't go in, and he's really disappointed and upset. And his grandma actually teaches him a magic trick, the magic moments technique, to get the courage to go into the pool. So it's a really, again, a story about trying again. So I really would recommend that. Now, there's a lovely video here, which I am going to play. It's Niall visiting a national school, and he's doing the magic moment technique with the kids. And it's something you could try, I think, yourself in the session as well, whether it's online or in a classroom. So I'll play this now, guys.
Marker. It's not a marker, it's a marker. So today, myself and little Freddie are off to our Harney National School in County Westmeath, my home county, to teach them the magic moment technique, which is a little mindfulness technique that helps people when they get a little scared or sad, and really helps Freddie, and I hope it's going to help them too. Hello. I'm your new teacher. My name is Mr. Breslin. How is life? You had eggs for breakfast. How do I know you? Sorry. Have you ever heard about mindfulness? I want to teach you a little trick. It's called the magic moment trick. Lily, all right back there? Sure. I want you all to think of the happiest thing you can remember that ever happened. Have you all got a thought in your head? A happy thought. So I want you to do, right? Get your thumb and your forefinger on both hands, squeeze them together like that, nice and tight. Softly close your eyes over, think of that thought, right? And when you're scared or feeling sad, a little bit angry or a little bit mad, just slow down and start to breathe. Think of something that makes you smile and hold that thought for a little while. Then squeeze your fingers really tight and your magic moment will shine so bright. And open your eyes. Let your hands go now. Magic moment. You find one other person today that you can teach that.
So lovely. Okay, so yeah, that's a really nice video, I think, to show as well. And of course, everyone could try the magic moment technique themselves as well, parents and children. So I'm just going to move on here now. Bear with me, sorry, slightly slow when I'm doing the changeover on the shared screen. So some other resilient characters that we don't even think about. And so I think that would be a really good thing to get parents brainstorming. Can you think of other characters now from rhymes, books, or movies as well? It doesn't have to just be books. And of course, the Itsy Bitsy spider, the original resilient character. And again, as adults, we hear that rhyme and don't even think about it. But it's a really nice introduction to very young kids about literally picking yourself back up and climbing back up the water spout, okay? So that's one. I think you could have a lot of fun with this actually in a session with learners. Now I'll just move on there to the next slide. And of course, you know, other resilient characters. Who are these? Why are they resilient? Harry Potter and Cinderella. I think there's actually, just to mention, there's a lot of articles online about resilience and Harry Potter. Psychology Today has one actually. I should have sent it to Fergus. Bit of a Harry Potter fan or J.K. Rowling fan, as you can see. But again, you know, get ideas from learners. And as I said, you know, it can be soaps, it can be movies. It doesn't just have to be books either, just to get people talking and thinking. So, and again, the Padlet might be a fun one for that as well. And that's it. So you can just use this as a prompt. Okay, and there we've our adversity dragon blowing on our little resilient, I think, a penguin there. So, okay, this too shall pass. Now, so suggested activities. You can start a discussion around children's books and resilient characters. You obviously, I have the book here. I would suggest, you could read The Magic Moment by Niall Breslin, try the technique, brainstorm other resilient characters in children's and teenagers books. Obviously, the book, you're going to know your learners, you're going to know your group. So, bring in a book that's appropriate. If anybody wants a scanned version, breaking copyright, but if you want a scanned version or anything, let me know through Fergus and I can send that on. It's about €10 or something, and it's on Book Depository. It's everywhere anyway, but he's had a few new ones since then. But so share some books with resilient characters. Maybe people could bring in books that they have at home, things like that. It could be a really nice thing, or bring them in or bring them to the computer screen as I'm doing here. So that's just another idea. But as I said, any ideas you have would be absolutely great. I'm sure, I've used I've designed it around the 4 things, but I'm sure there's other things you could put into the course as well and have extra sessions on as well. So as I said, I just wanted to bring something relevant to where we are now and what's going on with us all. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's useful to you and to your learners. And thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for putting up with my my Wi-Fi dropout briefly. So thank you. Now that's the end. I'm finished. So what I'll do now, I think Fergus will come back.
Yeah, Eleanor, thanks a million. That was great. The variety there was excellent. There's so many activities, tips, ideas. The suggested activities were great for coping, for resilience. It looked like the Niall Breslin video that it really worked with the kids. It really
didn't it? Yeah.
It definitely looked good. So that's great, and I haven't heard of that book, but it sounds good.
Yeah, it is. And as I said, I can scan it like for anyone, as a PDF as well. Just and I meant to suggest that too. I suppose if you're using a book, I mean, obviously photocopy it and post it out for your learners so people aren't under pressure. I suppose it's the last thing anyone needs at the moment, trying to get new books or whatever. So, I probably shouldn't think copy books, but you know what I mean.
So thanks again, Eleanor. And I'd encourage you now to the audience to write in your questions for Eleanor, or suggestions or ideas, or maybe something Eleanor said has sparked an idea and something that you do in your centre. So we'd love to hear if you have any tips or ideas yourself. Eleanor, I'll just have a look now at the questions, see what we have.
Yeah, I'd be so interested, because I mean, if I was helping delivering this in a physical setting, we would have probably broken into groups, done some of the activities ourselves and things like that. So yeah, I mean, definitely you miss the interaction. So like, be great, just any comments in the chat would be fantastic.
Okay, so I'll start with some comments here from Katherine O'Reilly. Liz Weir is a great storyteller who works with children of all ages in school settings. She would put together a great workshop for you. Okay.
Fantastic. So yeah, it's part. What's the name again? How do we spell that, Fergus?
L-I-Z, Liz Weir, W-E-I-R, Liz Weir.
Perfect. That's a great tip.
Yeah.
That would be so fantastic, like for stories about resilience, to have somebody in like that. Wouldn't it be great? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, then Sharon Murphy puts in a little joke. Is obviously this, she wrote this in when your screen crashed. Don't you just love technology, with a big smile?
I love it. I know. Yeah. I was doing my square breathing there, I'll tell you.
Oh, that nightmare for you. Katherine O'Reilly says, I love the image. That was written 11/20. I'm not sure what it was just after you came back from the crash.
The crash.
The crash.
As if you were bad enough, the crash.
Yeah. Okay, Sharon Murphy says, I currently have a communications group of adults at level 3 QQI. Talking about the word resilience would be a great exercise for them. We're using the theme of mental health throughout the portfolio.
Yeah.
Right, Sharon.
Fantastic. And as I said, I actually use that with an ESOL conversation group. So yeah, brilliant. Anywhere you want to take it. great stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. So just about some of the books you showed, Eleanor, Katherine O'Reilly has a suggestion. You can find the book you like and then check the library for it.
Exactly, that's it. Of course, yeah, like the less expense for everyone. Totally, yeah, very good idea. Yes.
Great. Michael Donnelly says, thanks so much. Some great resources. Thank you.
Oh,
Are
thank
you able to share the PowerPoint? Yes, Michael.
Yes.
Eleanor will send it to me and I'll send it on
Yes.
to everybody who's registered for today, as well
I
as.
was so keen, yeah, and like take it away, make your own, delete things, add things, whatever you want. You know, you're so welcome to it. I really wanted to give people a tool to take away today. You know.
Okay, well, here's a tool that Aideen Care likes. Thanks so much, Eleanor. Really useful tips, and love the idea of using book characters to chat about resilience with children.
Thank you. Yeah, I love the Harry, but there's so many of them. I mean, even the Itsy Bitsy spider, God, that took me back.
Yeah, I love that when I was a kid, when I never realized it.
Yeah, yeah,
Fella.
exactly.
I was just thinking, oh God, he's back into the bathroom. Tracy says all libraries have Bressy's books.
Brilliant, yeah.
That's
He's very
great.
popular. He's
Tracy.
great. He does a lot. I mean, and he does a lot of things like, you know, discussions around mental health and everything. He's fantastic. I think he's really helped, you know, in that area and talking
Yeah.
about anxiety and everything. He's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Katherine Wright says, I asked the children to tell me how I could learn to cope with challenges, and they come up with interesting ideas.
Brilliant. Yeah.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Yeah.
Kids
I
often
know.
are quite honest and frank. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, they are. Trina Breen says, could you please recommend a book for older children aged 10 to 12?
Now, I think that's really important to know actually your groups. Now, I don't know, can I still share my screen? But not being funny,
You
there is
can,
a
yeah.
whole host of things on Google. I was like, oh my God, if you just go in and put book, especially at the moment with the times we're in, it's such a, you know, a thing, resilience. If you put in, you know, books for resilience for children with your specific age, there's lots there. And also the website that was on one of the slides, they have some examples of books as well. Now, off the top of my head, I can't because my guy's 8. But there was a lot of resources because I was looking when I was preparing the course. And I mean, there's books for teenagers and everything about resilience. There's a lot out there.
Okay. Michael saying thanks, fair play. I'm not sure what I think he asked another question you answered. And then Tracy says Bressy's books are part of Healthy Ireland. Okay, thanks.
Very
Tracy.
good. Thank you. Yeah, no, he's
Kira
fab.
says The Magic Moment is a great book. It's part of our Healthy Ireland collection in Dublin City Libraries. Thanks, Kira.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and actually, I've used that like with my guy now. I think it was it Christmas of last year we got it from him. Really good. It really works, you know, because he's very little worrier sometimes, you know. So it's great. Yeah.
Okay, well, here's a very good tip from Sharon Murphy. Children's Books Ireland produce a great list every year, which breaks the books down by ages and topics.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sharon.
This year, they concentrated on minding yourself.
Yeah.
So they would definitely have some there.
And Fergus, actually, could you put that reference, if you're emailing the PowerPoint out to people, could you put that reference in it actually as well? That would be great for people.
Absolutely, yeah. So Children's Books Ireland, yeah.
Great stuff.
Katherine O'Reilly says, Nothing Ever Happens Here by Sarah Hager-Hilt. Nothing Ever Happens Here. And the author's name is Sarah Hager, H-A-G-G-E-R, then a new word, Hilt, H-I-L-T.
No, lads, these tips are great. It's lovely. I can't see, but it's just lovely to be getting all this in. Great. And Fergus, yeah, you'll be busy now with the tips, but if you could put them in the email as well, it's great.
Absolutely,
stuff.
yeah. There's another suggestion from Aideen Care. Thanks, Aideen. Laurie Williamson's books are brilliant for 8+ age groups. So
Oh,
Lara,
brilliant.
L-A-R-A Williamson, Williamson, Lara Williamson. Thanks, Edie.
That's me joking to get another buyer.
Yeah, and more tips from Aideen. The Girl with Space in Her Heart is a brilliant book for 10-year-olds, all about resilience. The Girl with Space in Her Heart. That's a nice title.
This
Okay.
is brilliant. It's nearly as good as being in a nice hotel room together, all the sharing.
The coffee's not as good here, but you know.
Hopefully next year, lads. We're all
Yeah.
actually when I did the resilience with my ESOL conversation group, we did have a lovely moment where one of the learners said, "Look at how resilient we're all being now," and we actually gave ourselves a bit of a clap and a cheer in our online Zoom. But you know what? It was great. It felt really nice. So
Excellent.
you know, so please.
Okay, that's it, Eleanor, on the questions and tips. It just leaves me to say thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in at home or in your office or wherever you are, and thanks for your suggestions, tips. I hope you enjoyed it and got some ideas and some tips from Eleanor. There's a big variety there, and from the comments, it sounds like people really enjoyed it. And a really big thanks to Eleanor. Eleanor, that was fantastic. You could see that you put in a lot of preparation, a lot of time. That was well researched, and such a variety of ideas and tips there. So thanks very much, Eleanor.
Thank you. Lovely. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. I'll end the webinar for everyone. Eleanor, I'll give you a call after just for as a debrief.
Perfect. And thank you so much, everyone, for those great tips. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.